All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is from the ESL Open Cup, Korea, number, I believe, 59. And in the bottom, or in the top, sorry, right corner. I'm getting my stuff all mixed up already. That's what we love. But in the top left corner, it's going to be your red Protoss from Alpha X. His name is Classic. And the bottom right, your blue Terran from Sidestorm Gaming, Special. Changed my audio setup a little bit. We'll see how it is. For now, this is what we're rocking with, and hopefully it will last fine. But yeah, this is from the ESL Open Korea Cup. Of course, Special does participate in these as well. Oh no, Special. That hurts. That is an early barracks that has been immediately found, and that's gonna have to be rebuilt. That's unfortunate. It's not game ending, but usually if a Terran goes for an early barracks like that, that's just a little bit further out on the map, it is meant to try and confuse the Protoss, but Classic just scouts out for it and immediately knows what's going on. And of course, Classic, oh, that music is so loud, recently returned from military service, is now playing for Alpha X, who managed to pick him up. Him and I believe Hero were the two main Protosses that have recently returned, which has of course been super exciting to see them back and playing and honestly wrecking house. Like, they have been really dominating they've really been doing very well against some very, very good players. I know I've seen multiple series where Hero has beaten Innovation and other, high-tier Terrans as, oh, that SCV might die. Special does micro it away, and looks like there's going to be no issue there. And Classic as well has been doing very, very well. Went to, this bit spoilers for the GSL Code A that happened last week and into this week, if you have not seen. But Classic took Zest to a Game 5 in PvP. Unfortunately did not end up winning it, but has just been showing some phenomenal games. And it's crazy to see these players that are just returning, Gumiho, Leenock, Classic, Hero, and they're already able to perform at an extremely high level. And it's just, it bodes well for, the next stage of StarCraft 2 esports, when we have a lot of players that are going to be leaving soon, and then kind of the old guard that are returning back in. As for what's been going on in this game, of course we saw the early barracks that did get scouted, but other than that, it has been a completely normal opening. Special has opted to go for the barracks with the reactor and the factory, which is just producing Hellions, and oh, that's going to be not an SCV kill. Classic does not focus it down, and this Adept should be able to get away. Never mind, that's going to be a kill. Special just getting a nice little early advantage there, and usually that first Adept doesn't go down. Most Protosses are very good about keeping it alive, just a bit of mismicro, trying to get that SCV that is, one shot away from death. Special couldn't get it, but ooh, I like it. Special pops down the Dark Shrine. Now, this is right in the front wall. A lot of Protosses have actually started doing this because Terrans are very good at scouting the main. Especially if they go Reaper first, or if they go for any sort of Hellion or Widowmine drop. Terrans are pretty good about getting all the information they need to from tech in the main, and so Protosses have been saying, hey listen, why don't I just drop things in my natural wall, because you don't scout that. Well, here comes Special. He's gonna go up, and ooh, did he click on it? I don't know if Special actually clicked there on the Dark Shrine. We will see. There's already a Raven in production anyway as a part of the build, but of course it all depends on where that Raven is going to be going. I think Special does have an inkling here of what's going on. And we'll see if that Raven stays home, but it's already a third CC. Special just macroing up. And a few more Code A qualifiers. Spoilers here. Of course, Special did make it through 3-0, I believe, versus Armani. Is finally back into Code S, which is going to be very exciting to see how Juanito does. And we'll see. Yeah, Raven, Marines, and Cyclone all here ready. and Banshees with Cloak on the way. Templar Archives, third base, Classic is going to be trying to catch up here. The weird thing about the Dark Shrine is if it actually gets scouted, it is very hard to really make anything work with it. And you see Classic, he eventually did cancel it, just realized there, even if Special didn't click on it, he probably knows exactly what that building is. They have both played this game enough to realize that it is in fact larger than a pylon when it is building. And so there was really no reason to commit to the Dark Templars when they're just going to get no damage done anyway. So Classic is trying to pivot now into Storm, into Charge, getting the third Nexus on the way. It will not be that quick, actually. Special should have his third CC on location by the time that Specials is finishing. Of course, Special does have the worker transfer. But even with that, Special is just in a really great position right now to macro up into this game. As a Terran, you know, being 10 workers behind is about standard at this point, but having your third CC already up at the same time as the Protoss's third base is such a big advantage for you. You have that extra mule energy. You're going to be able to saturate it just that much quicker. And it's a lot harder for the Protoss to really do anything about it, especially when you have scouted that DT tech and you know that they have to make a pivot into something else. Special. This is, okay, so Special does this. This is something that I've really only seen, you know, like Special and maybe Maru do when Maru plays certain types of mech, is that they will go Hyperflight Rotors with their Banshees. The Special is committing very hard to the Banshees. The first one has gone in and gotten 3 kills. Is now going to be committing down into the third base, and there's no detection here. There are no stalkers, and this actually just might get more damage than it was supposed to. Immediate morph onto those High Templars, so there's going to be no Storm energy. And oh my, Special is making this do work. 5 workers killed, and the blink on top will finally get rid of that Banshee. But already a very worthwhile trade there for our Terran. Has the second Banshee. It's going to pull out before committing. And the Hyperflight Rotors and even more Banshees on the way. This is exciting. The thing is, Hyperflight Rotors is not an upgrade that you see a lot in TVP, just because usually Protoss are good enough about having Blink Stalkers that it's risky to go for it. But I think Special, maybe betting on that, says, listen, I'm just going to try and use this Banshee hit squad, get damage done when the Protoss is pushing, and is betting on his ground army to be able to defend well enough that he's able to do that. Now, the observers of Classic have not scouted that this is any more Banshees, which is a bit of an advantage here. Usually if you scout, you know, 3-4 Banshees, you're gonna start to want to probably put some cannons in your mineral lines and have extra observers out. So Classic has no clue. He is building up the Death Ball. He's getting Zealots. He has Storm, High Templar, Archons, and the Warp Prism as well to pocket those away. It's a very, very large army that Classic is building that is meant to roll over the Terran. It is meant to make one engagement to try and catch out the Terran before the tanks are sieged, and it's going to try and kill them. But I mean, I don't think that's going to work actually, because Special's going mech. I didn't realize it until just now because I was really paying attention to the Banshees. But yeah, Special has 5 factories down, and Classic has not scouted it out at all. As 10 workers go down, I think the Banshee's into the main as well at the same time as those Hellions. 14 probes go down. Special getting some insane damage here, and he really needed it because him and Classic were about even on workers, and this now puts him far into the lead. About 19 ahead of his opponent. And oh, these Banshees, they're just so quick and they're getting so much damage. See how hard it is? Immediately Classic starts up more observers, puts down the cannons, but was not expecting that. And yeah, off this Special, he's perfectly fine to defend. He's going mech. He's getting his +1 mech upgrades. They're a bit slower than he would probably like them to be, but already has 5 factories up and operational, is continuing to go into more Banshees. This mech army is pretty scary. Now, Classic does have more, is the one advantage here for the Protoss. He has so many Blink Stalkers, he has so many charge lots, and if he can get on top of the tanks, well, that splash damage is not going to be very useful, but there's a massive wall here, and I don't think you can commit to this, Classic! What are you doing? It's an absolute massacre as the tanks get so much splash damage onto the armored stalkers. Storms come down, trying to soften up the tanks, and they might be able to do so. Does Classic just have enough to make this work? He very well might. The Banshees are trying to come back in, but there's still enough detection to be able to knock them down. it felt like the commit was too premature. But Classic, he might have just found the damage he needs to. 15 workers go down, evens up the worker count, kills off so many tanks. I mean, just in that fight alone, look at that. Classic says I can break through, and break through he does. There were not enough Hellions to provide a nice Hellbat wall, and now here comes Classic again. He just says, I can keep committing. I have more army than you. You just have tanks. You have no upgrades. And that's true. It's just +1/+1. Everything is getting shredded. Classic found the damage. GG. Takes game number 1. Game number 2. On to Light Shade. In the top left, once again, it is going to be your red Protoss from Alpha X. Classic. And I really felt like that mech was going to work out. It felt like such a good setup from this player to get into the right position, but that killer instinct, that killer instinct, it was too much. And it's your Blue Terran from Sidestorm Gaming. It's special. Yeah, that was wild. And we see once again Special is sending out this early SCV. Gonna be popping down not a proxy barracks, but a hidden barracks to try and throw off his opponent. Classic actually already scouting, and oh no, this actually might be really bad for Classic or for Special. The thing is, I mean, it is 2 guests, so this is actually going to be a bit more committed from Special. This is not just I'm faking and hiding a barracks. This barracks is going to be doing something, and I'm going to be putting down an earlier factory behind it as well. But the thing is, when it comes down to cheese versus cheese, the proxy gateway from Classic will just beat the barracks. It is so hard for the Terran to defend when their barracks is out on the map, and especially when they don't have a wall in Classic. He's gonna scout this. He's like, oh, well, this is nice. There's no wall. That's great. So immediately goes down the Reaper. Now, the only kind of saving grace here for Special is that he'll have an earlier factory to finish that wall, but he's not gonna have anything from it in time to be able to defend against the Stalkers that are gonna come, and I don't think Special has any idea that this is a cheese. Yeah, Special, he's just going about this as normal. No idea that anything's going on. The Reaper will not reach the base in time to be able to scout it out. By the time it does, that'll already be Stalkers across the map. This is gonna require some, I mean, extremely good micro, to put it lightly. There needs to be some incredible micro here from Special to make this work. I mean, already 2 Stalkers on the way. There's gonna be no bunker. Again, there's gonna be no Marines at the top of the ramp. We'll have to see what Special can do. Already the first Reaper is out though, and there is just a Zealot here to defend. Special gonna be doing this dance. Hasn't been able to get any workers, but it doesn't really matter because there's the pylon block. It's just a Hellion, and there's a Stalker across the map. And this is about the worst case scenario that it can be. As there's an immediate cancel, the Stalker is inside the base. SCVs are gonna have to be pulled, but I don't know. This is looking bad already. It is a Reaper and a Hellion, and some SCVs trying to do what they can against this Stalker. They might be able to get rid of the first one. I actually don't see this first Stalker surviving, especially with 2 Reapers now coming in. Oh, the focus fire from Classic though. Gets rid of the first Reaper. Now gonna focus down the Hellion itself. And still workers and the Reaper trying to do what they can, but just, I mean, the micro here from Classic is so good. He knows where to focus fire. And there hasn't been a bunker built. Special behind this. He's focusing so much on the micro that he hasn't built a bunker for the Reapers. He hasn't built anything in order to help him defend the top of this ramp. This is going to be a cancel onto this base. There's absolutely no way that you save it if you are Special. I mean, is he gonna try? No. Has to pull it. Has to cancel. Pull the boys now. 2 Reapers and a Hellion. Also a Widowmine that has been committed. Again, the focus fire. It's now 4 Stalkers and a Zealot. Oh, the Widowmine shot is canceled. And the Stalkers trying to get through if they can't. This is great micro from Special, but unfortunately, it is a losing fight. Finally, the bunker goes down, but he needed that so much sooner. And behind this Classic, natural base on the way. Getting his Robo facility and his Templar, and his Twilight Council. An Adept being produced and Stalkers. I mean, there's 2 Widowmines, and Special can micro this so that they don't get triggered. we'll have to see is, oh, that's... This is a little bit of a dance that's going on here. Is, oh, the Reaper comes up, and actually the two Reapers get 3 probes, so that's... It's something here for Special. It's definitely something. As... yeah, this Adept being used with just the Shade is so annoying, and this supply depot should go down. The Stalker's just out of range of the Widow Mines. There will be a Viking that is going across the map. There's also the Cyclone coming out to be able to get some harass, or to be able to push back the Stalkers. As the Reapers get cleaned up, they got a total of 4 kills, which is a decent amount. There's the Adept scouting out, but here comes the Viking. We'll see, this has a possibility of getting some decent damage done. And Special sends it in, watching supply depot drop has to go down. This is just such a hard situation for Special. There's the immediate warp in, immediate pull. Viking has to get out, and will he even get out? Those Stalkers shouldn't be able to chase it down all the way. Oh! Classic gets it, and that's just another loss that you don't need when you're Special. I mean, Special, he doesn't even have another base. Special is saying, I'm so far behind, I have to commit to a push here. He's gonna build tanks. He's going to be working on probably Stimpak or at least combat shields and concussive shell. And he's saying, well, there's no chance that I can get up a natural base and catch up in a macro game. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a full committal to an all-in here from our Terran, because Classic is on 2 bases, already at 15 workers and looking to establish a 3rd. We'll have to see what Special can do. Classic right now, with a pretty massive lead, now also has full information. No, it's just so many Stalkers. I don't think Special can hold this. He doesn't have his tanks. Siege, there's the blink. Yeah, Classic. A build order win and executed perfectly. Classic is going to find the win in game number 2 and take the 2-0 victory.